Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
This is our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Check out our podcast also below in the subscription. Subscribe right now.
Yeah. All right. So every week we've been picking one game, making it our lock of the week. We've won the first 2 weeks at mybookie.ag ham one, and we've said we're just going to keep rolling it over until we run out of money. $250 a week per game. So that's what this week. There was some debate on the last podcast whether we would parlay Lions over the Cardinals money line with the Niners -4, now 4.5, and the Jets. Here's the first headline. Giants, excuse me. We're going with the Niners again this week. You have since watched the Lions. You understood why I hesitated a little. We're out on that bet. Our lock of the week, Niners over the Giants, 4.5. So this is 2 weeks in a row we're going with them, and we're going with the same philosophy we went with last week, right? We're just taking a team that we think is really well coached, even though they got a bunch of problems, against a team that we don't think is good, even though the Giants are – nobody's as bad as the Jets, John.
No, we got him at 4.
We got him at 4. Love it.
We got him at 4. I took an edible Wednesday night. I dove into the Lions. Also text my the people I know in that division. I came around. Their defense is too slow going up against Kyler. I'm pro doing an aggressive bet coming up. That's probably not the one. I think I'm glad that I watched it because I know you did. Red flagged it. You were right. Good talk.
Okay.
Then we dove around like my pushback on. I almost said the Patriots playing the Broncos. Tom Brady playing the Broncos this week. Is just that I do think the Broncos are good enough to just maybe get a defensive score. They have offensive skill guys. It's in Denver. Denver, even though they might start like 2-5, I think we all acknowledge they are. You just watch them; they're well coached. They play hard. They just have a lot more talent than the Jets and the Giants. So our philosophy of just picking really shitty teams, and it just so happens that the Niners have played back-to-back weeks. I think it's fair to say, as of recording this on Thursday night, the two shittiest teams in the league, Jets and the Giants. I think the Jets are the worst.
Yeah, I think the Jags are better. Yeah, I think. What do we think about the Panthers?
The Dolphins. We're recording this before Thursday night game. It's still.
I think the Giants could be better than the Panthers. I think the Giants could be better than the Panthers.
Yeah, both of them now missing star running backs. Though McCaffrey will come back. I think Teddy Two Gloves is better than Daniel Jones.
I think you're right.
If you had to pick a coach. I'd probably take Rule over Judge, though. They're both 2 games into their NFL career.
Yeah,
that's probably an unknown. I just think right now Saquon out, Sterling Shepard out.
Right.
The Niners. I'm betting because the one pushback that I had for this game is like, well, at the end of the day, Nick Mullens is their starting quarterback, and I think you convinced me, and I think this is the right mindset to have. You're betting on Kyle Shanahan. Like, my money's on Kyle Shanahan, not as much Nick Mullens. Though I've seen the other thing is Nick Mullens is not this big unknown.
No,
right?
He's not.
I've seen him play.
I think he can do. Did you see some people put. Let's since we're going to pick the other games, let's just focus on why we like the Niners this week. Did you see some people reacted because Trent Williams was like, I walked by Nick and he didn't even see me. I could tell he was going over plays in his mind. It reminded me of Kirk Cousins, and everyone's like, oh no. That's a phenomenal compliment.
That's a positive.
It's such a positive, and I think
Nick Mullens goes on to have the career Kirk Cousins has. Kyle Shanahan deserves a medal, right?
Yeah, I think he might deserve a medal, even if he doesn't. I like Nick Mullens. I think as much as we can like Nick Mullens, right? We don't like him like you should build your franchise around him, but we like him like he should definitely be your backup quarterback, and your backup quarterback has to be a guy that you feel like you can win a couple games with if you have to. I think if we talk about when he's played, he's been really efficient. Now, part of that, you go back and look at some of his big games. He's had some big games with Kittle. Now, this is 2 years ago now, so I don't know how much of it holds up. But I think he's confident in who he is. I think he knows who he is. I think he does the things Kyle wants him to do. He has
same draft class guy. They've been around each other the whole time. Him and Kittle, right? Same age.
Yeah.
At the same time.
I do think the Kirk and even the Jimmy, I think he just does the things Kyle wants. I think he's pretty fearless. And again, every time I watch him talk, I think this guy knows what he is, and he competes. And I think he's got enough to beat the Giants and to cover 4 points, especially. I just think he's got enough. Now we got multiple running backs out, right, for the Niners.
Yeah, multiple.
We'll probably get our first look at. I want to call him Kerry Hyder, JaMychal Hasty. Out of Baylor.
He had a good reports. He had a good camp. I did see a Roto World headline. Could Jeff Wilson Jr. be the fantasy steal this week?
Well, maybe, because we talked about he vultured some touchdowns last year. Hasty was 6 yards a carry, 7 touchdowns, had 25 catches last year at Baylor. I told you this stat I saw, Next Gen Stats. Nick Bosa, the Niners' pressure percentage goes down 9% when he comes off the field. Problematic. But, again, part of this is the Giants. Now, here's the other thing. Part of me is a little concerned about them being on this field again. But they're going to get on the field. They're going to have to play. So, whatever. But I do think, just from a big picture standpoint, I hope it's over. I hope they get through this game and no one's hurt. I'm going to be holding my breath for 4 quarters that happens, but I feel good enough about them as a team.
To me, there is a level of this field, like the apprehension going into this field, a little bit like a golf tournament. Like, that the wind, well, everyone's playing in the wind, right? The other team, you're not doing a scrimmage against yourself here, right? There is another NFL team. Now, it is arguably one of the worst NFL teams, so if they get guys going down, I don't think people are really paying attention. I know that sounds awful, but it's just a fact. Like, if Trent Williams goes down, it's a major national story because of the team he's on. If some random guy goes down on the Giants, no one
really
cares.
Who do the Giants even have that would get
anybody's attention? They lost that guy.
Blake Martinez.
Back to the Mullens thing. I can't get over what a compliment that is to call Nick Mullens Kirk Cousins. Like, that is, to me, a huge – now, if he had said that, I do think most Niner fans just look negatively at Kirk Cousins. If he had said that about Jimmy Garoppolo, I would agree that's not an ideal comment. Yeah. But when he says that about your backup quarterback, a guy that's proven just in a short time here to, Trent Williams is a pretty high-level guy. That's pretty clear, they're going to actively try to keep this guy around, right?
Yeah.
And obviously he's a dominant player. I believe, like last week, it's going to be a little more difficult because the Giants just have a little more talent. But I will be stunned, Guy, if the Niners aren't in complete control by the second half of this football game. That's why I feel confident putting our money. I might have put a little bit of my own money. I just think this is, of all the games this week, this is the one going into it. I think anytime you get the Jets and the Giants where the number is low, we talk about, who are the Jets playing? And we see the Colts. Number opens up at 8.5 by the end. It's I bet it's 12.5 by kickoff, just because it's just going to be their numbers. We're a week or two away, I think, Guy, from most Giants lines just starting at 7, 8. And that's where I think we're getting a little value here. Because even with Mullens, I think this number should be more 6.5.
I agree.
And then I think we'd have to start talking it out. But at 4, this is incredible value. I see value here, Guy.
At 7, we'd be going, are the Niners getting overvalued? Don't they have all these injuries? But at 4, or at 4.5, that's just not the case. So, yeah, it's a bet on the coach.
I would only red flag at 6.5 and up. I would feel a little uncomfortable, but at 4, I feel pretty good.
I still think they'll be able to run the ball. Obviously, won't be Mostert level. And I do wonder, is Ayuk a little better today or this week? He's got now a game under his belt in the NFL. So, I think the Jordan Reed thing is only helped. He's only better. I wouldn't feel great about playing Kittle in this game. Although I did see a video of him at the Greenbrier running straight line, looked pretty good. But if he does play, it only makes
If you told me
Reed
they
better.
withheld Kittle, I'd have no issue with that. I'd be like,
if they said, Guy, what should we do? It's up to you. I would say do not play George Kittle in this game. Now, you've been on NFL sidelines, John. Can you do the thing where you're well, let's see if we need him in the second half? I don't know if you can do that to him, where you dress him and you tell him we'll only play if the game's close late. I wouldn't do that.
I don't think you can do that to a player.
Yeah.
I think it's also hard to convince a player like him that goes, I'm the best player in this team. We're missing all this guy. They need me.
Yeah.
George he's I'm 95%. Let me fucking play. You're paying me all this money. I want to play. The NFL, this is not basketball or baseball where we got 80 more games. It's hard to tell George, well, you already missed one. You're going to miss another one. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I want to go out there and kick the shit out of these guys because I know I can't. They can't cover me.
Yeah, you're right. That, and it's well, you're playing Nick, so you need me more. And then the other thing would be, I know we think they
Fred
suck.
Warner, you're playing Trent Williams. Why wouldn't you play me? He'd have an argument.
Here's his other argument. It's guys, this is a must-win game. Now, I know you think we're going to win it, but this is a must-win game for us.
Yeah. We both agree there. This, they're going to go to the playoffs or whatever. This is whether we cover the spread or not, and we better. They lose this game, we'd have major issues.
Yeah.